There is a creature still alive today that has existed since before the light bulb was invented, before the United States was founded, and even before humans conceived the concept of calculus. What is even more terrifying is that it is still swimming silently along at the bottom of the cold, pitch-black ocean. Sounds like a tiny, near-immortal organism, right? But no, this is a giant shark, an apex predator at the top of the food chain. The question is, how can a creature that is almost completely blind and moves so slowly that it is nearly incapable of hunting, survive and dominate the harshest place on the planet, and what makes it so incredibly bizarre? Introducing the Greenland shark and its bizarre characteristics. This is the Greenland shark, and at first glance you might mistake it for a giant drifting rock because it moves so slowly it's almost imperceptible. Its body is grayish, heavy, and lifeless, and it is even completely blind, like an inanimate object. But the remarkable thing is that this is an apex predator of the deep ocean. To understand why this creature is so haunting, you need to know that it is like a zombie at the bottom of the sea, not because it eats brains or has bizarre behaviors, but because it is literally decaying while still alive. If you look closely at its eyes, you will see strange dangling threads. These are not parts of its body, but parasites attached directly to its eyes. This parasite is called Onomatocoeta elongata. They attach to the cornea and gradually consume the shark's vision. Amazingly, nearly 95 to 100% of adult Greenland sharks carry this parasite on both eyes, rendering the entire species almost completely blind. So why hasn't this driven them to extinction? Blind, but not useless. The strange thing is that the Greenland shark doesn't seem to care about being blind. There is no evidence that this parasite causes enough pain to affect their behavior or survival. In fact, losing eyesight at depths with almost no light is not a major disadvantage. Many creatures living at the bottom of the ocean don't need eyes either. But the anomaly is that Greenland sharks did not evolve to lose their eyes over time like other species. Instead, they are born with perfectly functioning eyes that are later destroyed by parasites. This means their vision is eliminated after birth rather than through millions of years of evolution. These parasites, about 3 centimeters long, will dangle from the shark's eyes for the rest of its life. An image that is both macabre and baffling. But even so, the question remains, how does such a blind, sluggish creature become an apex predator? Toxic body and no predators. The Greenland shark moves at a speed of only about 1 meter per hour, a pace nearly impossible to use for hunting or escaping. So why doesn't any creature hunt it? The answer lies in its very body. The flesh of the Greenland shark is extremely toxic. It is not simply unpalatable. It contains chemical compounds like urea and TMAO that prevent its body from freezing in near sub-zero waters. This makes its entire body seem like it's filled with antifreeze and neurotoxins. If humans eat this shark meat without proper processing, they will fall into a condition known as shark drunk, with symptoms like loss of balance, slurred speech, and even death. Because of this, almost no species wants to eat it. Even powerful predators like killer whales will immediately spit it out if they try to take a bite. Combined with living at great depths where there are few other large creatures, the Greenland shark has virtually no natural predators. It drifts through the ocean like a living, toxic waste barrel. This raises an interesting question. If it isn't hunted and doesn't need to swim fast, how does it hunt for prey? A haunting hunting method. When scientists examined the stomachs of Greenland sharks, they discovered completely illogical things like fast-swimming fish, giant squid, seals, and even polar bears. This seems impossible for such a slow-moving creature. So what is the answer? The leading hypothesis is that they do not chase their prey, but haunt them. Because its extremely slow movement generates almost no pressure waves in the water, sleeping seals cannot feel its approach. The Greenland shark slowly drifts closer until it is only a few centimeters away, then suddenly opens its mouth wide, creating a powerful suction that pulls the prey in before it can react. Additionally, a large part of their diet comes from scavenging carcasses on the seabed, using an extremely sensitive sense of smell to locate carrion from far away. This explains why there are bizarre findings like reindeer or polar bears in their stomachs. They may have died previously and sunk to the bottom. And it is exactly this near-zero energy lifestyle that is the key to the extraordinary lifespan of this species. Lifespan and how it is determined. Greenland sharks have an extremely low metabolic rate, and their muscle tissue barely ages over time. They only grow about 1 centimeter per year, meaning a 5-meter-long shark could have lived for hundreds of years. But how do we know this when sharks don't have ear bones to count growth rings like a tree? Scientists found the answer by analyzing the nucleus of the eye lens. This part is formed before birth and remains unchanged throughout their lives. Using radiocarbon dating, they looked for signatures of nuclear bomb tests from the 1950s. If this trace is present, the shark was born after that time. If not, then it must be older. From this, they estimate that many Greenland sharks can live up to 400 years, or even over 500 years. This means there are individuals that have existed since before humanity's major wars and are still swimming somewhere in the ocean today. Slow maturation and biological paradox. While living a long time sounds like an advantage, the Greenland shark has a major weakness. They only reach sexual maturity at around 150 years of age. This means an individual born in the 19th century might just be starting to reproduce right now. This makes their ability to maintain a population extremely fragile. It doesn't stop there. In biological theory, such a large, long-lived creature should have a very high risk of cancer. However, studies show almost no signs of cancer in this species. The reason is that they possess highly effective tumor suppressor genes, capable of repairing DNA better than most other animals. Yet, the price to pay is an incredibly slow reproductive rate. If humans accidentally kill them, the population will take hundreds of years to recover. This leads to a thought-provoking question. Can a creature that survived the Ice Age survive humans? Perception and how they feel the world. The heart rate of a Greenland shark is only about 5 beats per minute, incredibly slow compared to other species like hummingbirds. This indicates that their entire biological process occurs at an extremely low speed. There is a hypothesis that creatures with fast metabolisms perceive the world in slow motion, whereas for the Greenland shark, it might be the opposite. The world passes by faster for them, and although this is not a direct correlation with the brain, it highlights a difference in lifestyle. Their brains are unusually small compared to their large bodies, but that doesn't mean they are stupid. They simply don't need to process a lot of complex information. Most of their brain is focused on the sense of smell, helping them detect the scent of carcasses from far away. Their lives might just simply consist of drifting in the dark, eating, resting, and existing for hundreds of years. The bioluminescent parasite hypothesis. There is a controversial hypothesis that the parasites on the shark's eyes might not be entirely parasitic, but rather a symbiotic relationship. In deep environments where bioluminescence is a primary hunting tool, if these organisms have the ability to glow, they could act as a glowing lure, attracting smaller creatures to come closer, and the shark would only need to open its mouth to eat. If this is true, the Greenland shark is not just a blind, sluggish creature, but a coordinated hunting system between multiple organisms. However, this hypothesis has not been clearly proven, but it raises a fascinating question. Could what looks like parasitism actually be a sophisticated survival strategy? Global distribution and silent existence. Previously, it was thought that Greenland sharks only lived in the freezing Arctic, but recent discoveries show they can appear even in tropical waters because the ocean floor environment is always cold. They use the depths as a highway to travel across the planet. The terrifying thing is that because they are completely blind and their surroundings are always identically pitch black, they might not even know where they are. To the Greenland shark, the entire world is just an endlessly stretching, cold, dark corridor. It may have existed through humanity's major events without being aware of them at all, and this makes its existence both astonishing and chilling. Whether you find it terrifying, bizarre, or miraculous, the Greenland shark remains one of the ocean's most mysterious creatures, a being that lives so slowly it almost transcends time. And if you find stories like this as interesting, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video so you don't miss future content, because there are still so many secrets at the bottom of the ocean that we have yet to explore.